Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Toasty Ashes of Dusk. Wait, dev panel?
Dev panel.
Yes.
Dev? Okay, we're calling it a dev panel now. Cool. Story meat was too boring. We had to go straight for the meat and potatoes. Dev panel.
We ran out of ideas.
My name is Duper. I am accompanied here with Voxid, formerly known as Art Blaster.
Yeah.
And the always beautiful Ivy McChives.
Call me Brian on this.
Chivy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Trying to be formal over here.
Johnny Byron Voxid.
Yeah, that's my name. How'd you know?
Everybody knows.
Okay, so sorry, I got like a quad mocha right here and I'm drinking it.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, it's delicious. Pure yellow chocolate, I'm telling you, that's the way to go. That's what it needs. Don't use Hershey's. Hershey's is terrible. Okay. So today we're going to be discussing NPCs as well as side missions that come with those NPCs, and just talking about the characters and the personalities and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, somebody just name an NPC and we just go.
So, well, when I was looking at the NPC concept art before this call, I was looking at the stuff from Docktown, and I really like the like, what is it? A mouse with a bag?
You talking about Carmelo? Of course.
Is that Carmelo?
You go straight into
Carmelo. Effin' Mellow.
I was gonna go on about Carmelo for like.
Well, we've discussed Carmelo before, right?
Yes, we have, but we didn't talk about like their personality and whatnot.
What do you say Carmel? Like how are you saying that?
Caramello?
Now you're questioning, like,
is that wrong?
I don't know. I mean, I was saying Caramello. That's how I. That's
You're
what
saying
I call the candy bar. The candy bar. Listen, the candy bar that the rat is based off of.
Yeah, you've been calling it Carmelo, and I was like, oh, is that just his name now? Okay. Although I thought it was like those candy bar Carmelo, like caramel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people say camel.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on where you're from.
But yeah. Well, what about him, Brian?
I think we should just keep discussing how we can tear apart Justin's dialogue or dialect, and.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say a few more words. Just go ahead and just tear me up.
Okay.
No, I see. The reason I questioned it is because you both were doing it, and I'm like.
I just thought that was like what we were calling him. I don't know. I don't say caramel or caramel. I say caramel.
Me too. Maybe that's an East Coast thing.
Let's just meet in the middle and call him Rolo.
Yeah, call him Rolos.
Yeah. Wasn't that you guys saw you guys like Rocco's Modern Life?
Yeah.
You saw Meet the Fatheads. There was the beaver based on Rocco, and his name was Rolo.
Yeah.
That's what I just thought of.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's a thief, and he steals Tessa's trident, and you have to chase him and put the beat down on Caramello and get the trident back. Should he speak a funny way? Is there any kind of speech pattern you think would be interesting?
Yeah.
Did we discuss, speaking of speech, did we discuss how we were going to have the characters talk? Weren't we going to do, like, gibberish?
Oh, didn't we talk about, like, just having, like a one-word thing? But, like, it could be, like, gibberish and, like, a word, or...
Right,
like,
but did we decide we were going to have it so that each character had their own, like, so-called voice, but it, like, is just, like, gibberish sounds? Like kind of like Banjo-Kazooie-ish, but not as weird.
I thought we had it like because I remember we discussed it and we talked about how like initiating the dialogue could be like it could be just a word or like a sound.
Yeah, that's what
And
we. I think that's what we were liking earlier, like, where it's like
And then
when you
afterwards-
first talk, it's like, hey, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
you know.
Like a
Like,
little
Zelda.
sound bite.
Yeah, like Zelda, where it's just like, hey.
And then you want the PPP sounds. And then you want the PPP sounds.
Yeah, we want.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what it was.
The text sounds.
So, yeah. Brian's gonna have to do some voices.
Hey.
Man.
Hey.
Hoi! And then you get the nice little Paper Mario PPP
Yeah.
going on.
I'm excited for
So,
that.
yeah, I mean, like, that's something I tried to incorporate with the dialogue. You know, I'm big on doing, like, different types of speech patterns. Like, I almost do it unique. Whenever I'm writing a dialogue for a character, I'll write something unique for that character, like speech patterns and stuff. Like, I know Pudge, we wanted to give him, like, a really heavy, like, Brooklyn accent or something.
Hey, oi!
Yeah, I like that. I like that you like write it into like the way they speak. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to make it, you know, really unique. Not just the dialogue trees and everything, like the path that you choose with the dialogue, but also like the way that the characters speak.
Yeah. I like the idea of Scrum kind of having like a Pinky, like Pinky in the Brain voice kind of thing.
Like, here's the thing, like in real life, is everyone, like, I feel like every NPC you meet in a game is always like extremely well spoken and literate.
Yeah.
I've not had that experience in real life with everyone I meet.
Yeah. I'm totally fine with like when somebody talks, there's straight up grammatical errors like in their words.
That's actually a good idea. Like, we can misspell things on purpose.
Yeah, be like, oh yeah, there was some misspellings here. It's like, nah, it's just how they talk. It's like, but it's in text. I was like, that's how they talk.
Well, what if like one? Yeah.
I was just saying, I think that would be a cool detail, but I feel like if we do it too much, it would just seem like sloppiness on the writing end. But I agree that like maybe one character who really doesn't speak well, like could talk with like broken English or something.
And then there's that one guy who just hates vowels, and he just refuses to use them.
Yeah.
And you have to decipher what he's saying.
They've been too good for too long.
Like, imagine that. Like, you have to depend on what this guy is saying, like, figure out what he's saying, but it's like he's missing all the freaking vowels in his words.
Have you seen those like tests where you can do that, where you can read sentences without the vowels and like still know what it's saying?
I
Yes,
think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
It's like it's like the way how your brain works. Like it groups things and stuff.
Yeah, your brain fills in the blanks. Really cool. Anyway, that just made me think of that.
Yeah, like, no, that's like another thing we could do, like, even as a psychological element in the game, you know? Just thinking of different ways we could approach dialogue, the way it's used.
Yeah, definitely.
We should even do one that's like a freaking typing game.
What do you mean?
Faulty just
like,
you mean?
Yeah. Like, you, like, let's say the dialogue comes up and you have to, like, type the response or something within a certain time frame.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally a typing game.
Well, that wouldn't work with a controller, would it?
Yeah, it wouldn't.
Unless you had the keyboard.
Oh, I need that GameCube keyboard.
Yeah, that thing's like $200 on eBay. I've been watching it.
You've been watching it?
Yeah. I check it
How
out.
many... never mind. I won't get on that tangent. Never mind. That's not related to this.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, how many relics of the past do you just have like listed like up on your computer that you've been monitoring?
I got like 48.
48.
Yeah. Same.
I was gonna say something. Oh, and Faulty was showing that with like the text that we can do animations and stuff, like where like it wiggles and stuff. I think that'd be kind of fun to do for like
Yeah.
a character who's like kind of slimy or something.
Yeah.
Ew, slimy.
No, that's a good idea. I mean, there's going to be a lot of slimy creeps
Oh, the creeps.
in the sewers.
I don't like Peeps that much.
You don't like peeps?
No.
Yeah, I had one the other day. It was too sweet. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
So anyway, back to Caramello. That's it was an interesting segue because we were talking about candy again.
Yeah. Well, it's like, Easter time,
It is.
and the candy character NPCs. Like, what about NPCs did you want to get into today?
Well, sorry.
Like, we're talking about dialogue and how it's and stuff, but like, you mentioned side quests.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how many side quests we exactly wanted to like include in the game apart from the main story. Like, do we? I mean, I know we don't have them all written out, but like, do we have like a general idea of like how many side quests we would find in like a town or?
I think like in a town itself, there would probably be like based in the town, and you can kind of just finish like nearby or something, would be like 3, I would say. And I only say that because that's not counting the trade quest, that's not counting the Pudge's Pizza quest that brings you through multiple towns, like stuff like that. But actual like quest because you have the Tessa's Trident, which is one of them, which takes place in there and kind of stays in there. So that would be one of them for Docktown. I don't think Gretsch really gives you anything.
He gives you a Dorito.
I was about to say, you buy Doritos from him.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like not the trade quest though.
Party Pete should become the new king of Geldia.
It should just take the crown, and then lead to Toasty, and you have to destroy this evil dictator.
So wait. So like, all right, now I'm getting into the political landscape of Geldia.
All right.
Like, after the monarchy was like destroyed by freaking Larm, what happened to their political structure? Like, is it just like warlords fighting for control, or is it like the towns or city states, kind of like in Hellenistic Greek?
Yeah, it's martial law.
I imagine everybody's just vibing, and there's probably
punch your butt for that.
There's probably a few people taking advantage of the situation, like Barnabas, for example.
Actually, that explains a lot of what happens in the game. Like, there's a reason why there's so much like so many
anarchy.
troubles that you have to help out with, because of like there's no real like order anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that's why they talk about the knights, because it's like, yo, it used to be so much better. Now this hot dog shakes me down like every day and robs me.
I think we just accidentally did that now. I think about that.
Yeah.
Like, we were like, oh, well, let's break down the system in the prequel.
Yeah.
And now there's a whole world that we can like build upon because there's a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and it shows everybody's
was a
thirsty
jerk,
for a hero.
Yeah, the king was a jerk.
Yeah,
So-
he was a butthole.
I mean, some of the knights were good,
Yeah.
but there was kind of like that two factions fighting, like the the Geldian knights led by Ash versus the ones that were loyal to the king.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And then
it's
But
kind of
just
it's
like-
kind of a duality of like what's it called? Like a legal system. You have people who abuse it, and other people who still follow it. And...
right.
You know what? Do we have zombie knights? Zombie Geldian knights as actual enemies? Because that would be
that was
really
we did.
I think that was the idea that we wanted to do for the ruins of the kingdom.
I was thinking of them kind of like making more of an appearance instead of just that area, kind of like how the gloves, how they're kind of like more of a common thing, like in Link to the Past. You have like the more common enemies, and then you have like the every now and then run into one. Like I think like I don't know. I think it'd be really cool to have like more of those around.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
well, I know we talked about having them in the catacombs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the walls made out of Geldian Knight helmet heads.
Skulls.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. No, I think that is an interesting thing to think about, like the whole structure of their society, basically, like, you know, like, for example, like Shroomville, we had, you know, Hoots and Voogles. He's like a he's this like freaking corrupt bureaucrat, and he like basically distracted Party Pete with a party and assumed the, you know, the control of Shroomville. And then you have like Docktown, which there is a mayor in Docktown, but I guess his rule is not very effective because it's overrun with thieves, the city.
So he's like not very active in his job, basically.
Yeah. And maybe and then there's you know, the wastes, which is like
The Wild West, basically. Well, I mean, except
Yeah.
for the judge, but I mean,
yeah, exactly, which I guess, and let's not forget Robe Arthur.
oh my
Mhm.
god, I'm so excited for that now. I love that we came up with that.
I know, it's perfect. And it's funny because we were trying to figure out like what links the story together in the waste, and it's like, oh yeah, Robot Arthur. Yeah, that does it. And and then Avarice City is just like corruption ahoy.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a big city, corruption everywhere, people doing things, dark alleys.
Yeah.
And pain.
And then like, yeah, I guess like the world is the one thing all the areas of the world in Geldia have in common now is that there's some kind of influence from Larm throughout each area. So essentially he's running the world
Yeah.
behind the scenes. He's the new Illuminati.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love it. I think it's really cool.
It's fun. It's like, it makes you think. I like that. It's like I like, you know, analyzing puzzles like that with story elements.
Yeah, I like when everything connects like that. It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Oh my god. You can't stop him from saying it.
Nope.
And we won't.
No. So, what is... Alright, so we have a bunch of NPCs, or a few NPCs that will make more than one appearance, like not in the same area. Like, if we're gonna do the Dupes PI thing that we've discussed, I guess Dupes and Arthur would be in Avarice. Also, Oscar is
Right.
kind of like running around in different areas, and you just see him at random moments. You're like, oh my god, dude. But like, Crocus would probably stay in Shroomville, unless he's like on the train. Like,
Oh, Crocus.
oh, Crocus.
What did you want, like, Justin,
Yes.
what would you like to do with the NPCs that was done successfully in other games, and like what's something you would want to do that's different?
Oh, you mean
Like something that you enjoy from other games that they do with NPCs that you would like to replicate in Toasty. And then
Right.
I'm also interested in like what you would like to do different than that.
Right. What I like to do, what I like in God, I'll use this as an example is Marin from Link's Awakening.
Uh-huh.
I really adore how that all works out. Like after you complete a dungeon, Marin is no longer in the town, and she's actually at the beach.
Mhm.
And this is like a moment where you actually need her, and you need to bring her to the animal village because they're all like bummed out or something. I don't quite remember, but you bring Marin to this village, and now the village theme is like not even playing anymore. Now it's just Marin singing.
Right.
I like the I like the escort-esque stuff in games, but I don't like the protecting that usually comes into play when you do escorts.
Right.
I really like how you go about Majora's Mask, and when you get the Deku Princess.
Oh yeah.
I really like that because I remember when I was a kid, I was incredibly stumped. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Too.
And like, I was just like, for hours, I was just in this room. I was getting mad because obviously I'm on a timer. The moon's gonna crash. I'm trying to figure this out. And then like, I'm just like, you know what? And then I just like tried to like figure out with the bottle, and it worked. And I was like, what? But I love. What's up?
I had the strategy guide, so
I
just sat there and I was like playing through it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm just gonna use the strategy guide.
But what I like is the dynamic shift of bringing somebody to another location. That also is like with Link's Awakening, with Animal Village, bringing Marin. But I love bringing the Deku Princess to the Deku Palace because everyone's like, heck yeah, boil the monkey alive, get him. And you can like interact with them a bunch of times and just watch them dip the monkey over and over again. You're just like, dip a monkey, and then you'll let the princess out, and everything just changes. The environment is completely different, and she just attacks her dad, they free the monkey and all that stuff. And then afterwards you talk to everybody, everyone's just like, oh, we were so sorry about that. It's like, you're about to boil a monkey alive, but okay, that's fine.
We don't condone boiled monkeys.
Yeah, no boiled monkeys here.
So
I like the change of everything when a character is brought into a different location. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like having the NPCs like do more instead of being in one place throughout the whole game and saying the same thing throughout the whole game. You like having some kind of, change in having them contribute to the story in some way.
Right. So this is just a very, very loose example, but let's say we go to a town and this entire town is buried in chocolate and people are dying, but you remember that like 2 towns
that'll
prior,
kill you.
and there's like 2 towns prior, you remember there was somebody who was literally like, I love chocolate and I will literally eat until I explode.
Oh yeah, we know that guy.
It leaves the player to be like, wait a minute, I think I remember somebody saying something about chocolate. And then they go on their own and interact with it and stuff. Like,
right.
And it's like you just kind of put 2 and 2 together. And I love it when it's also something you can overlook. Also, like you can continue the entire game without doing it.
Right.
And you get like a reward for it, and the reward is more exciting narrative. I don't know. I like that stuff.
Actually,
yeah.
But now you mentioned that, are we going to have opportunities where you could backtrack through to the previous areas and like?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was under the impression that we were, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed we were too, because I think it'd be kind of dumb if like it was so linear you couldn't go back. My only concern is the area from going from Docktown to. So,
I actually wanted to bring this up last story meet. So we actually, because of that whole transition, I think after you get to the Wizard's Tower or Half Moon Isle, I think there should be a person with a paddle boat.
Oh yeah.
Just being like, hey, I can take it back over there.
Just with one guy in a freaking rowboat.
I mean, that works.
Like he'll like take you back. He's literally there to just bring you back if you need to.
Right.
You want to go back that way. At least until you get to the point where you have a magical thing that allows you to go to different areas.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, because like I know a lot of games do something like that. It's like, oh, you want to go back over there, and then it's like this.
Yeah,
easy thing that doesn't get explained completely, but
people will still want a spoopy area to go back to. So I think that does give us a reason to have.
Anyways, a quick way for a player to backtrack is ideal, and it doesn't have to be like completely explained. It could just be something super easy. Because like, remember they talk about in Dogtown how they don't like going out and fishing and doing their normal thing has been a problem because of that ship, right?
Yeah.
It would only make sense that after you had completed it, there's a paddle boat there now. It's just like, oh yeah, now I can like, do my thing.
Oh
my job
God.
is to ferry people across.
Guys,
What?
wait. When do you get
Oh,
access to the mirrors?
That's later. That's the device I mentioned a little bit ago.
At the tower.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, do you get it in the tower?
What?
You get those in the tower? Or you get that in the tower?
Access to the mirror?
Yeah, like
All right.
to use them.
Are we thinking it's two different mirrors? We're talking about the one mirror where that thing happens, or we're talking about the mirror that allows him to do that thing?
Yeah.
I mean, we can
I'm
just
like
say-
trying not to be spoilery. I'm
we can
sorry.
Just say it. I mean, it's not like a
No.
story element.
So the mirror in the wizard's tower, that one is the first warp mirror you gain access to in the game. So that is where you get access, Brian.
Okay, because if that's the case, we don't need a rowboat back to Docktown. You could just use the mirror
Yeah.
Yep.
and
That's true.
go to your previous location.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, we can just do that.
I feel like sometimes we forget the things we implement or have ideas
wait.
about.
But like if you but if the first mirror you go to is in the tower, wouldn't you have to go to a mirror in Docktown or Shroomville in order to warp back?
Didn't we?
Because then you would just be trapped in the fucker not whatever desert.
The fucker not.
Wait.
I do think the first mirror you find should teleport you back to somewhere automatically, just so you have an understanding of how it works. It should have an automatic destination, and then after that, you can decide where to go.
Okay.
Isn't that?
So somewhere on the mainland, I guess.
Yeah. Somewhere in the first area mainland before you head to what's it called? The catacombs and all that and whatever. Although that's an interesting thing too, because I think we talked about this in the previous story session, so I don't have to worry about it, but the tower collapses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of just like
Or
falls
it caves in or
through.
whatever, and
It
yeah.
like shifts down into the ground.
Oh, so you think it should do like Mario Castle style, where it just like kind of like crumbles into the ground, and you have to get out through underground?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay. Well, I wasn't
Where
sure
it's,
if it was
like,
still intact or if it just like demolished itself.
I like the idea that it's still intact, but like you try getting out through the front entrance, and it's like, oh, there's like literally boulders here. I can't get through.
Okay.
We are
so-
now
Taking as you leave.
Marshall's now pooping underground.
And
So-
then suddenly you hear it's dead quiet, and then suddenly you hear is oh, bombing mission from Final Fantasy 7. No, just me.
What does that have to do with
I
the thing?
Because now the place is coming down. You got to quickly get out.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Okay.
The way that you get out of the tower is you warp out of it. So it's like, oh, it teaches you about warping. Cool.
Yeah. So should we have it so that the mirror warp is well, okay. Well, I mean that's a placement issue. We can workshop that when we get to that. But like yeah, so basically you'll have the option to use the mirror or keep going through the catacombs, right?
Well, you have to use the mirror to exit the tower that is now buried.
Oh.
And the receiving mirror of the conduit is
conduit.
in the catacombs.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I was under the impression that when the tower collapses, you go through like some tunnel underground into the catacombs directly from the tower. I didn't know the mirror was going to be basically the
Yeah, it's like how you get out. Like they make you panic. Like, oh, you're sealed in.
Okay.
Oh crap!
I
There's
like that a
boulders. I
lot
can't
more.
get out.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That's perfect. And then also that forces you to learn the mechanic. So
Exactly.
that's good. You're so smart.
Yes, you are.
I only, talking to you guys gets the juices flowing. That's what does it.
Them sweet
Not all
juices.
me. That's right, Brian.
That's right, Brian.
Good job, bud.
So, yeah, you warp out. See, that's why I was thinking there might be a problem, because the catacombs is technically like on the way to the wastes. It's not like in the first area of the game.
Okay, well in that
So,
case,
that's why
what if we made it so that you use that mirror to get to the catacombs as a learning example, but then if you go back to that mirror, it gives you the option to go to previous. Well,
Well, what if the mirror's intact, but it's just all rubble now?
what mirror? You talking about the mirror in the tower?
Yes.
You're confusing me now.
Okay.
It's okay.
The tower comes down,
That's okay.
but
Man.
the mirror does not break.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't saying the mirror breaks.
Yeah.
Because you use it to get to the catacombs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we can. We'll work all this. All the small, little details
Nuances,
about how this stuff works later.
Welcome to our 1 hour mirror discussion.
Yes.
Yes.
It's very important.
It's very important.
Computers.
Like, I want to keep talking about it, but whatever. Move on.
I mean, we could do a thing like you're saying, Brian. Like, oh, there's a freaking. You get into that dang mirror in the tower, right? You get in the tower mirror, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't know how we're gonna do the transport system. If it's gonna show a world map with little nodes you can select, like, oh, this is where I want to go. You could have like 2 different ones highlighted, like, oh, I can move the cursor to like freaking Shroomville or the wastes, the catacombs.
Right. Or we could do
Or the one, no, go ahead.
I was say, or we could do Chrono Trigger style. Do you remember have you played that?
Very briefly.
Okay,
I
so
played it to a point and then forgot.
in Chrono Trigger, when you go through these portals through time, you actually can go to an area that's like a hub at the end of time, and there's different portals to pick which area you go to. We could have like a weird pocket dimension with the different mirrors, like in a circle or something, and like when you walk up to it, it would say what area it's in.
So, okay, I mean, we could do that if you want.
That's just a suggestion, just another idea for how to handle the selection of where you go.
Like a warp hub.
Yeah, basically.
There's also like Super Mario 3.
Mario 3?
Yeah, where it's just like a row of pipes.
Yeah. Like there's like some kind of hub with like a visual representation.
Right.
Like what would make sense in Toasty as a hub? Because like in Mario, it's like, oh, there's pipes because and it's based on that kind of like board game look that Mario 3 does.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's very thematic, and it fits in both narratively and design wise in the game. Like that's where I'm coming from, trying to visualize it.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to kind of figure out. But yeah, I agree. We should have it where it fits the theme of the world. I don't hate the idea that we just use the world map and like you pick it. And you like just have like a cursor and you get to pick which area. But do we still want to make it so that you have to discover the mirror first before you can travel to it? Because
I think that should be the case, though.
Yeah,
you want to be a familiar area that they pop into.
I mean, we could be clever about it. We could be really clever about it, where you kind of maybe you find a mirror earlier in the game and it doesn't do anything, but you examine it. I don't know what that would do to the narrative, though. Like, if it would make sense to do it that way.
I have Chrono Trigger on the brain because that just makes me think of all the black boxes in Chrono Trigger that you see before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it just plays a mysterious tune, and it's like it does nothing, and that's all it does.
That's what I'm thinking.
So, where is Rowan's shop?
Docktown.
Okay, so after you're able to access the mirror, she probably should be like, hey, that's really weird. Since you did that or whatever, this mirror that's been in my shop's been like glowing or whatever, and then like you're able to go back to there, and that's how you get back to like the Docktown area.
That would be a good.
So now, like, when you initiate the first mirror, now you have 2 mirror.
And Rowan could call you on the Froggy phone to tell you that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then, bam, go to Rowan and be like, sup, what'd you find? And then, bam, narrative. Okay, fuck off.
That's great. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I feel like Rowan would really want to hear what you found.
We need more Rowan stuff, especially magical stuff like that. Like.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We do need more Rowan stuff.
Definitely. Well, I think that pretty much solves the issue that we were talking about.
Nice, we did it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, I think I think the warp mirror system's a good idea. I want to try to, come up with a good visual representation, because so far, we have the TV as for the main menu.
Right.
We have the whole TV visual design that echoes like, Wilhelm and all his stuff and all the kind of like more technological side. Do you want to play up more of the fantasy element when it comes to the warp mirrors?
Oh yeah, I just thought of something. So what if like when you use the warp mirror, it switches to the perspective of actually looking at the glass? Like you have like basically like on your screen you would see like the sides of the mirror. And the glass turns like a transparent black, like you could see through it. And then you would see the exit from the other mirrors, like in not too far, but like a little distance. So you see like a black gap between the two. Like basically, it's like you're looking out another door, and then you could like select left or right, and it would slide through the different locations.
Yeah. Ivy?
Yes?
Oh, you were saying?
Well, I think Brian was talking about the design of like the warp mirrors when you go to access them.
Yeah, you had an idea. You're like, you know what we can do? And then it all crashed.
Well, basically that you can see your destination, like kind of like you look into the mirror and it shows up as a display.
Yeah. Well, how big are we having these mirrors?
I mean, they're
well, like
they're like normal size mirrors, so bigger than Marshall, but like not huge. And I guess it would. I don't know if I would do it from the. I mean, it would be cool to do like the exit visual from the perspective of the mirror in that location, but that also changes the perspective of the game a bit, and like you have to draw a specific image for each mirror. I'm not saying we couldn't do it. It would just be more stuff. Alternatively, we could just have like a no, actually, I think I like that the most, actually, where it's like looking out of the perspective of the mirror and what's in front of it. But
yeah,
I don't know. What do you guys think? Alternatively, we could just have it like an overview of each area in the mirror.
Right. I was just thinking that it was just you interact with it, and then you get more of a interactive map like you have in your actual pause menu, and you can like choose where you want to go, where a map was discovered. Like if you only had 2, then there will only be those 2 areas. And then you just hit the button, you walk through the mirror, and then you walk through the mirror on the other side. That's how I had an idea. But we can go even more dynamic with it. But
Mode 7.
No. Nah, I mean, I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have like, yeah, I don't know. We could figure it out, but I think we'd want to like sketch it up and
Yeah, definitely.
we got some good ideas. I like it.
yeah,
We do.
What time? How much time we got left? We got 10 minutes.
Yes.
yeah, we're fine.
So, I think one of the things I mentioned was, since like the ghost ship like doesn't exist after you like complete that area, is that correct?
Yeah.
Like we can we should definitely incorporate Geistberg
Yeah.
and have some of the NPCs that are in the ghost ship, like now they're in Geistberg. They're like, oh, this is where the ship was bringing us from Docktown, because we were on vacation in Docktown and now we're back home.
That'd be cool. I like that.
Yeah, and it could even be like an after the game type thing, or something that's not not necessary to complete when you're
Yeah,
in the mains.
Didn't we agree that Geisberg was kind of just like an optional area, not really like crucial to the main story?
It's like if you want to get all the memories.
Right. Yeah, it's like
you
a
gotta do
completionist area.
Yeah. Because
So
remember, we had it to where one of the memories. Oh God, spoilers. Never mind.
Don't say more than that.
Damn it!
Did
Do
we?
you need to get them all?
What up?
Do you need to get them all to get like the best ending, or?
It's in order to
Something.
get one of the paladin items. Remember?
Oh yeah, you have to get all the memories unlocked.
Yeah. Memories.
Wow.
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 Yeah, that would be interesting, definitely, to do that.
I have a question. Where is Geisberg located on the world map? Because is it on that continent north of Avarice City?
It is. It's on the first section of the world map, northeast Shroomville.
Oh.
There's like a mansion.
Okay. Where's? I thought that's where the kingdom was.
No, that's east of Shroomville.
Oh, okay. I'm getting my directions mixed up. Sorry.
You got to go really northeast.
Really.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. How well, this is getting into a lot of detail, but like, at what point do you have access to Geisberg? Is it after you have left the Wizard's Tower, or is it something that you can find early in the game but you just can't really do much with, or how do we want to handle that?
We actually have not discussed the exact placement of Geisberg yet.
Yeah,
I put it in the map where it is. What are you talking about?
I meant like how you access it from where.
Oh, you mean like what part of the game is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
like in
you mean
the actual,
when when it's accessed?
Not where,
Yes.
when.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry. I'm like really caffeinated right now.
Yeah, that's, we could, like Brian was saying, we could do something earlier, or we can do, like maybe certain parts are locked off, like you can't do everything there, or like maybe you show up and it's just like haunted stuff happening.
Yeah.
And there's no one around, and then like when you go back later, you're like, hey, that's all the ghosties that I met on the boat, and now I can see some of them because I got the bright lantern thing.
Okay, you just came up with that, and that's perfect. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just doing my job.
Where in the on the world map is Geisberg. I see the Geisberg map itself.
It's northeast of Schramval.
Okay, yeah. I remember we were talking about that placement. My question is...
It's Poopy of Shroomville.
Northeast. Okay. Okay, alright, so it's like a little bit north of... Is it north of Mount Ash? Or not Ash, sorry, the castle?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And that also southern, so like to get to that area and like the castle and south of that's the Mud Village.
Right.
Where would we have that like in the story like placed? Like would it be after Docktown?
It would. I think what Ivy was saying is perfect. Where like you could probably discover it if you explored.
Oh.
However,
okay.
nothing really happens there, and it's just weird and creepy. And like maybe you can't get in like a building, but you can like walk around.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah,
but
so
after you
can't
get past the ghost ship, then you have the fan turn, and you can see that there's actually people there. Also, the ghosts that were on the ghost ship.
Oh, okay.
It was the ghosts we made along the way.
You know what? You know what it's kind of reminding me of? It's kind of reminding me of the power plant in Pokemon Red and Blue.
Yes.
How it's like kind of like detached and you can completely bypass it. It's
I
like,
love that shit.
yeah, you're like, hey, you're like, wait a minute, if I backtrack to this area and I use this item, I can go to this other area and I can get Zapdos, you know?
Exactly.
Right.
I love backtracking with new ability.
Yeah, so that would just make sense. So maybe from like, maybe there's just something going on like the eastern side of Docktown that you need the fan turn to kind of like get through.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, I like that idea.
But you know,
I might have closed off the entrance with my map drawings. Like, I might have closed it off like to where you can't get to it until a later point. But we could open it up if you want and kind of just have it like, oh, you could access it early in the game, and then people will be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I think that'd be better. It gives it more intrigue and mystery because like it's accessible and you can look at it, but like nothing happens, so people are just like really confused, speculating.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I think we're out of time for today.
Yes, we are.
All right. Give us a send-off, Justin.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us today for this dev panel, our bi-weekly dev panel, and we will see you in 2 weeks for the next one. As always, my name is Duper, and I've been joined with the amazing Voxit, formerly known as Artbuster.
Yep.
Woo!
And the always delicious Ives McChives.
Yay!
Yay! Well, we will see you all next time, and thank you for joining us.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.